Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Shots fired, shots fired. President Trump has been shot. Good news is it looks like he just got his ear. So I'm sure you guys already heard President Trump has been shot, and so some new news came in. I just heard this online, is there were two snipers. I think at this point in time, I think we can all agree, extreme left, extreme right, every one of us in the center, we can all agree this is just wrong. This is too far. All of this has to stop. So I want to point something out, kind of funny. I noticed, see this lady in the lower right corner with the sunglasses, hat, and the phone? This is while the gunshots are being fired. Trump's already on the ground. His security men, or whatever they are called, they're on top of him, covering up, and everyone is scrambling to get out of the target zone area. This lady, I don't mean for 1 or 2 seconds, she stayed there at the entire time recording, because she's actually further behind Trump, so she's recording that whole thing right there. I thought that was just unbelievably brave. So here's the thing, it wasn't 1 or 2 shots, it was easily over a dozen shots, and they just kept firing. This lady's just sitting there, and it kind of blew me away. And then they kind of paused, and then a couple more shots popped off, and then one more, and I'm looking at this lady like, that's one brave lady right there. So I don't think this is a left or right issue at this point. I think this is an American issue. I think people on every side are like, yeah, this has just gone extreme. Like, this is insane. And it needs to stop. So one of the things that I was wondering about is, was anyone in the crowd shot? Because there was at least a dozen plus shots fired off, and that's a pretty packed crowd right there behind Trump. Alright, so I'm actually looking at the news, or people that are posting right now on my Facebook page. So someone had wrote down in a post that there was someone that actually was shot and killed in the crowd. And another one is in critical condition. So some of you might be new to this channel. I'm sure it's going to get a lot of views. So essentially, this is a personal development, energy healing, spiritual channel. A lot of us on this channel love Trump. A lot of people have just flat out told me they have. So one thing that, so my point is, sorry, that's not really my point. My point is this, is what is going on right now. Call it the narcissist, the demons, the dark world, whatever you want to call it. They're fighting for their life. The light shining. People are seeing narcissists left and right. Like, people are just like, that guy's narcissist. Like, yep, I know. I see him. Like, you can see them now. People are seeing through the lies. They're seeing through the bullshit. They're seeing through all the stuff that we've been fed for centuries, literally. We are coming out of the dark age of Pisces, and we are coming into the light of Aquarius. In the age of Pisces, we'll just believe what I tell you. And the age of Aquarius is like, no, I want to know from my own 5 senses. See, hear, feel, smell, and taste. I want to know. So we're not letting people bamboozle us anymore and just saying, oh no, don't believe what you saw, don't believe what you heard, don't believe what you feel, don't trust your instincts, believe what I tell you. I live in a very liberal area. I was born and raised in the North Bay, in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. And I now live about 15 minutes from San Francisco, from the Golden Gate Bridge. A very, very, I think it is the highest concentrated liberal county in the United States. The interesting thing is, more and more men, like, literally will just walk up to me. Like, the first time it happened was, I don't know, 4 or 6 years ago. It was a while back. Some guy I'd seen around town, kind of a rough guy. He works on cars. But he does like really fine painting. Like, he paints cars, does high design. Really cool shop. Even the outside's painted. It's just a really cool shop. And he just walks up to me at Whole Foods when I was in line one day and says, hey man, I gotta tell you something now. This guy never smiles, and I'm thinking, oh shit, what's coming? He goes, I just want to let you know. He goes, I just registered as a Republican this week. It's like, oh cool, right on, man. Now I'm thinking, like, why the fuck is this guy telling me? Like, who am I? In the last 2.5, 3 years, more and more people are doing this. They're just walking up to me, like at grocery store, coffee shops. I'll be in Target. Hey man, I just want to let you know, for the first time in my life, I'm registered as a Republican. Okay, I'll give you an example. There was actually a client of mine who came up to me at a Whole Earth. It's another grocery store, and he just told me, he goes, my whole life, he goes, we were lied to. He was wearing he's wearing a red hat, like the MAGA hat or whatever they call them. I'm like, you're pretty brave wearing that, wearing that in liberal territory. He goes, I don't give a shit. He goes, they lied to me ever since I was a little child. He goes, I am sick and tired of it. Here's another thing. People are whispering underneath the current. They're like, I'm sick of this. I'm not doing this anymore. People are waking up. I was a born and raised Democrat, liberal Democrat my entire life. I've lived in liberal areas. I would say, except for when we moved away for 6 years, I've lived in liberal areas my entire life. Registered as a Democrat when I was 19. My entire life I was a Democrat. Now, I think it was about 12, now it's probably more than that, about 14, 15 years ago. I was like, I'm done. Because you just see, I tell you, here's what a lot of people say, like, I didn't leave the party left me, because all of a sudden it's like, well, why are people treating me like shit? Oh, you're a Republican. I keep hearing this, like, no, I'm not a registered Democrat. Been that way my whole life. And they're like, no, you're lying. Or they would say, oh, well, you might as well be because you look Republican. And I was like, what? So this happened for a long time. People would scream this at me at coffee shops, grocery stores, total strangers who never even heard me speak one word. And finally, it was an acquaintance of mine who said the same thing. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go re-register as a Republican. I'm done. And the thing about it is, there is no Democratic Party. It is the Liberal Party. It is extreme left. It is left socialist. They'll leave. Okay, that one guy that was wearing the MAGA hat, he flat out told me. Now, this was a while ago. This was 15 plus years ago. He proudly said, he goes, yeah, I'm a registered Democrat, but we're not actually Democrats. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I'm a liberal. He goes, in fact, I'm actually a socialist communist. The point being, there is no Democrat Party. The Democrat Party has gone so far left. The policies, the values, the beliefs, etc. It's not. See, to me, Democrat Party used to be more of a core central kind of thing, and it has gone so far to the left. It's kind of like, well, who are you? Like, I don't even know who this party is anymore. When you vote for a Democrat, you're not voting for a Democrat. Those people are extreme left-wing liberals. People here in Marin, and not only that, but the Bay Area, San Francisco in general, they say, I'm not a Democrat, I'm a liberal. There's a difference. And I'm like, so start your own damn party. Well, they can't win if they don't get the Democrats' votes. So when the Democrat Party wins, the Democrat Party does not win. The liberal wins. And then it dawned on me, the Democrat Party has not won a single election in decades. And you're like, what do you mean? Obama won. Biden won. They're not Democrats. They're extreme left-wing liberals. So a friend of mine, he used to tease me about, oh, you're a little liberal. I'm like, no, I'm a Democrat. There's a difference. That's what I figured out. And so I'm like, no, dude, I'm a Democrat. And so he was, yeah, but you guys believe this. I go, I don't believe that. He goes, yeah, you do. I'm like, no, I don't. He goes, Michael, I don't think you understand the party you're voting for. So we had a couple phone conversations, and he would kind of tease me or throw. I go, dude, I don't believe that at all. So here's what happens. He was a very politically educated person, very much up on to date and all that stuff. And he goes, you're left of center when it comes to social issues, but you're right of center when it comes fiscally to fiscal issues. Which was kind of like, oh, what do you mean? He goes, well, you believe in social, helping people, healthcare, helping people that are, down on their luck, etc. And I'm like, well, yeah, of course. He goes, you also believe in paying your taxes, paying your bills, working for your money, etc. So I'm like, well, yeah, of course. He goes, see, that's the thing. That's why people there get you confused, because on the one hand, you're left of center, but on the other hand, you're right of center, because they're kind of looking at you like, well, what are you? So my thing is, like, I don't believe in the conservative Christian, like everyone must be a certain way, they must conform. Well, the left has started doing that. Well, you have to be this other way over here. No, I'm like the old John F. Kennedy, kind of the 70s, live and let live. My whole thing is like, don't try to control me. Don't try to make me conform. Don't try to tell me to be the way you think I need to be. I believe that humans need to be good, come from their heart. And as long as they're doing that, well, go live your life. I mean, as long as you're not hurting someone, like, who am I to judge? Who am I? I don't see myself as this higher than thou, like I am above and I'm going to set the social rules. That's what I don't like. I don't like when people try to tell me, an adult, like, you need to live by our social rules. I'm like, fuck that. I'll live by my social rules and I'll do what I want. And that's what he meant when he said, yeah, you're left of center. So the thing about it is, I realized, my goddaughter pointed this out, because a lot of people just yell at me, like, you might as well vote Republican because you look Republican. This is usually after I would say, no, I'm a registered Democrat. And it hurt. And after a while, I was like, fine, fuck it. I'll just vote Republican, fuck it. And they're like, well, no, we don't actually want you. You guys have been screaming this at me for 8-10 years. I am done. And I was kind of upset one day because this had just happened and my goddaughter came over and she goes, what's going on? And I told her, she goes, well, you do look Republican. I'm like, Cindy, what the fuck does a Republican look like? She is like you, blonde, blue, clean cut, all American. And there was a big mirror on the living room wall and I was looking at it. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah. She goes, Michael, everyone here thinks you're a full-on Republican. I'm like, but I'm not. Now, mind you, this was 12 plus years ago. And she was like, yeah, but they don't know that. And she goes, I know you, but that's because I've spent a lot of time with you. She goes, but they don't know that you're an energy healer. They don't know that you do personal development, life coaching, all this left of center stuff. They don't know you do energy healing, etc. and, new age psychology. She goes, once people get to know you, it's kind of a shock, like, oh. So essentially, I don't fit in the box. Like imagine if I went to Texas, how they would treat me there. They'd be like, oh, you're one of those California freaks. And I could rightfully say, yeah, you're right. I mean, I was born and raised here my entire life, so it had a huge influence on me. So here's the deal. I'm absolutely okay with you not fitting in any one box, left, right, up, down, whatever. And I think that's okay. I think there's a commonality on this page. Most of us do not fit exactly in one box, like right-wing, extreme, conservative, Christian, or left-wing, extreme, liberal, whatever. I think we're very caring people. We just want people to... I think freedom, allowing people to be free, to be who they are, I think that's a value that a lot of us share in common on this page. And I think a lot of us are sick and tired of narcissist abuse. We're sick and tired of the dark world, the dark arts, and people doing this really demonic stuff. Now let's take a look at this picture right here. So it says, you are not meant to be understood by everyone. It says you are meant to blow some minds and break belief systems. Those systems are what hold you back. They limit you, and they keep those dark people, dark entities, whatever you want to call it, in power. If you can break people's belief systems, which are holding them in a box and keeping them from seeing reality, now you have freed the world. And that's what those who are in power are afraid of, and that's why they are literally going to the extent of trying to kill a former president of the United States, President Trump. And that's the same thing they did to John F. Kennedy, a former Democrat president. They killed President John F. Kennedy because he wanted to break the system. He wanted to free people. He didn't like what they were doing with the financial system, and he was revealing that, and they didn't like that. And thus, they killed him. So it's not a left or right. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing. It is a freedom thing. As the Mother of Dragons said, she's going to break the wheel. And that is what's happening right now. That's what we're talking about. We have to break this wheel that's keeping people in oppression, that's holding people down. It's not just financially. They don't even want you to be happy. They don't want you to smile. They don't want you to laugh. This is why so many of us that are free, our minds are free. We can see what's going on. This is why they attack us, because they know if they can put us in a state of fear, if they can keep us out of love, if they can break our hearts, if they can make us feel like we're worthless, that artery in the lower reptilian brain that I've talked about for years, once that narrows, because it'll narrow under any negative fear state, shame, guilt, doubt, confusion, heartbreak, worthlessness, it makes that artery tighten up and narrow, and thus you don't get as much blood flow to the brain. It restricts the blood flow, and it keeps all the blood down in your body and in your muscles, and it puts you in your low reptilian brain, the fight or flight brain. And they're doing this on purpose to society. That's the wheel that we have to break. Look, when the artery narrows, when you're in a state of fear, shame, guilt, fear, doubt, all that stuff that I talked about, worthlessness, it narrows the artery, which takes the blood from your brain and pushes it down into your body. What does this essentially do? It makes you stupid. You're using the lowest part of your brain, the instinctual brain, where there is zero thinking. There's zero awareness. There's zero consciousness. You don't know what's going on, so you just do what you're told. That's what that lower reptilian brain does. They don't want you to see what's going on, because if you did, not only would you be horrified and astonished, you would stand up and fight for yourself. See, if we can get you in the higher conscious brain, you will finally say no. You will finally stand up and literally, physically, emotionally, and verbally take a real stand. See, it's not just the narcissists in government. There's a reason why there's narcissists at all of your jobs, where you live, etc. They are all fighting for their lives. They already know the light is shining, they're being revealed, people see what's going on, and the wheel is being broken. You can't deny it. It's too bad. We are shifting from the age of Pisces, which is the age of darkness, which is the age of just believe me, bro, into the age of knowing. So when people say, oh, I'm a believer, wow, you're still asleep. Wake the fuck up. If you're going around as a Christian saying, I'm a believer, you're still asleep. You are still following Satan. You are following the dark rulers of this planet. You might mean well, your intentions might mean well, but you're actually following the rules and laws of Satan. You're doing what they're telling you to do. Oh, I'm going to church. Yeah, the church has been overtaken. The church, as Maramari has said, is being controlled by Satan. More importantly, they're called narcissists. When you learn about narcissist abuse, you're like, it's everywhere. It's in government, it's in churches, it's everywhere. Because they're trying to constantly keep you in a state of fear. This is not a left or right issue. It's a good or bad issue. It's a demonic narcissist versus godly issue. This has nothing to do with left or right. Left or right is just one more thing they use to keep us divided. They use our skin color, they use our race, they use our culture, they divide everything. You know, when I was growing up, we celebrated our cultures. Whether you were Irish, Italian, German, Mexican. You know what, a lot of you don't know, my mom and dad used to own a fine dining Mexican restaurant when I was a kid. I grew up around Mexicans and Hispanic my entire life. Not only that, but Vacaville was also known as, oh, what's the word? I can't find the word, but had groves. They had walnut trees. They had peaches, pears. I think we even had oranges. There was apple trees. So there was just miles and miles of all these other different kind of plants. So we had a huge Mexican population. All of my boxing and kickboxing coaches were Mexican or Hispanic. When I went to Napa or went back home to Napa, same thing. When I was a little kid, we called them migrant workers. They came up there and they lived there. They worked on the vines. They picked the grapes and on and on. That's all I've known. I'm not going to say half my teachers, but a certain amount of teachers. So my point being is, it's about getting along. We used to be able to celebrate our cultures without someone attacking us or saying, oh, you're bad, simply because you were born to a certain race, skin color, or culture. How you get out of the divide is you open up to left, right, and lower reptilian brain. This is what I talk about in my grounding courses. This is why it's so important to learn, number one, how to meditate. Number two, breathing techniques, which I teach one-on-one or in small groups. And also, you need to understand what it means and learn how, physically how, not just say, oh, it's about being emotionally grounded. No, learn how to become and be emotionally grounded. Why? Because it opens up that artery in the lower reptilian brain. When you do that, it allows the blood to flow up into the larger left and right hemisphere, and thus all three of your brains are turned on, and that is called consciousness. If you don't like that word, it's heightened or greater awareness. Now you get to see all the lies. You'll get to look at someone and go, oh, they're lying right through their teeth. You can see it. Whereas if that artery is lower, you can't. You can't see through the lies. You just like hear words. Now is the time to be strong, to speak out, and to stand. That's it, folks. God bless America. God bless you. This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. If you like this video, click subscribe, click the like button, make a comment. And there's also a donation link right there. It's a PayPal link right there in the description box. If you want to support this channel, you can also buy my dating relationship books for men and for women. And yes, I do coaching for men and women on any personal development issue and or relationship issue. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.